Today is very cold. It's very snowy, and it's a new guitar day. So in the previous video, I talked a little bit about the fact that I was a part of a rock band back in the old country, and even though I don't want to talk about the details of the band, I think this video would probably be more. Also, that's what I'm looking for. It would be probably more interesting if I did share a little bit about our story. So I guess. This is the video about the band Pic Clavier. But let's first open this, then we talk band, if that's okay. So a few days ago, I went online as one does, and I started looking at guitars because it's one of the passions of mine. If you're an instrumentalist, if you play any specific kind of instrument, you tend to every once in a while look for different instruments, different things that you like, to see if there are any progresses, if there are any new things, or just to feed your gear acquisition syndrome, which I don't really have, and this has a reason, because I have a couple guitars here. But since I was how old was I? Since I'm gonna say since I was maybe 18, 19, almost like 16 years ago, a long time ago, I always wanted to have a specific type of electric guitar. I have played a number of different electric guitars in my day. Never have I ever played this type. So, to quote the fantastic movie Seven, what's in the box? For me, it's going to be maybe a couple minutes because of the packaging. For you, it's going to be one cut. Yep. If you're a guitar player, you probably know why this is a special guitar. And the reason is here. It's because this is a 7-string. I never had one. I have never played one, and this was on my to-do list before I grow old. And a few days ago, I finally pulled the trigger on it, and thanks to really reasonable prices, I was able to get my Harley Benton 7-string multi-scale, which honestly I don't know if it translates very well, but it's gorgeous. The guitar is newly made. The factory, the company is 10 years younger than me, 1998. And there was a sticker in the box that says, in case of emergency, rescue my guitars. Neat. And they also sent me, they also included a decent cable. But let's talk band now. As I am walking to my next class, let's tell the story of the band in the most concise and fun possible way under this it's letting up the snow, under the snow. So I don't remember the exact date. I know I have it written somewhere. I think it was like June or July of 2014, I believe. I could be wrong. Almost 10 years ago, when a couple of friends of mine and I we decided to create a band, as you would do, as a post high school activity. In 2004, I wasn't a high schooler, but the dream of having a band with us and doing crazy music stuff had been a thing since our high school days together. And it was around 2014 when we realized, you know what? It's time we did a show. It's time we did we made a band and we did a show. So we banded up. We found a couple new friends to help us out along the way. And we created a band called, which is a mixture. The name of the band is a mixture of the words pick, like the guitar pick, and clavier, which is a French word for piano. Because, I'm the guitar player, and a buddy of mine with whom we co-created the band, co-founded the band. He's a pianist, and therefore the name Piclavier was born as the result of putting these two words together. And we did we started practicing my songs, because at the time we hadn't written anything new, and we started practicing at a rehearsal space which was affordable at the time. And around like a year later, we officially finalized the dates and the contract stuff for our first show. Now, in order to, advertise ourselves, the thing that we did was we recorded a single track and we published it within the underground music scene, because at the time it was not possible to publish songs in the old country that were not with the country's language, that were not Farsi, which is the language of my country. And one thing led to another, and the song became a massive hit. It was insane because it became, the song blew up, and within probably a few days or maybe a couple of weeks max, we sold out our stage. The entire venue sold out, and it was insane because apparently what we had done was in high demand within the alternative music scene, within the, I guess, underground music scene, which was awesome. And this came with some issues. This came with attention, positive and negative, but mostly negative, because obviously when you're working and living and when you are in a country where most of the rules and the regulations of the country are done by the religious people, or the religious folk, there's going to be complications. I'm not going to get into details of why those complications are what they are. And that meant that the night before our first show, our show was cancelled. Our show was completely cancelled, and I, alongside my buddy, we were asked to come in to some offices and talk about our case. And it was not really an interrogation, but I think it's going to make the story sound more badass if I say it was it was a conversation. It was not a super friendly conversation, but I bet it could have been worse. I bet. And thus began a very, very ill and stressful and damned circle of curses, issues, problems. Every time we would be thinking about doing a show, releasing a single track, doing an interview, thinking about music video. Every time we were doing anything, there would have been, there were like, I don't know, 20 pairs of eyes on what it was that we were doing, and what it was that we were doing really was not perceived as what it was. That was happening. When somebody wants to create a problem for you, once somebody is poorly educated, once somebody is afraid of the unknown, because languages have a lot of unknown in them, the default defense mechanism is to just, impede, to create problems, to say, all right, you know what, I don't like you, but I can't say I don't like you, so I'm just going to say that we have found ties to you that lead to Satanism or terrorism. Or once, I'm not joking, I was somebody apparently told that I drink blood. It was funny. It was really funny. So this was despite the fact that we had so many stressful different periods of time, we persevered. We did what we could. We published our first and only album to date, and it was such a crazy event. It was such an unprecedented moment in the history and in the music history, certainly, of the country, that the album was nominated for our country's version of the Emmys. We were nominated for the album of the year, for the rock album of the year. We didn't win because of the nothing because, but it would have been funny if we had won, because at the time that we were in the ceremony, but we were in the event, we were outlawed. We had been deemed as an outlaw band and a band who is not allowed to perform on stage anymore. And that happened at the same time as I had been outlawed, and for my French album Identity, and I made a huge, like a series of videos about it on my channel. It was actually one of the earliest, like probably one of the earlier videos that I'd ever made. Anyway, I'm digressing. The point is, I had to endure a lot of stress, both internally and externally, for a lot of different reasons. Working in groups is hard. There's always financial stress, there's always artistic stress, there's creativity issues, there's conflicts of interests, so on and so forth. And the one thing, like the only thing that kept me going through all of those days, was the friendship and like the feeling, as cliche and corny as it sounds, of being a part of a family. And eventually, all things, good or bad, they all come to their end. When I realized it's time for me to close that chapter of my life and leave the country, it wasn't just leaving the country for me. It was bowing out, because it was not going to last. I knew I wasn't feeling happy. I knew I wasn't feeling like myself, and among the reasons why I was towards the end really assuming the posture of somebody who was tolerating all of this was because of all the friendships. And I looked at myself and I realized, if this is about friendship, then they'll understand. So I talked to the team, I talked to the band, and I said, I can't do it anymore. I'm not feeling it anymore. My heart isn't in it anymore. My heart isn't in that much of a heavy music anymore. And so we parted ways very amicably. No bad blood, no tantrums, nothing. Everybody understood me. And fast forward to 24? Yeah, 24 months now. 2 years, almost. And here we are. I got myself a 7-string guitar, even though I don't think I'm going to be using it for anything heavy. I do, however, have one more plan or dream or wish, however you want to call it, regarding music. And that's going to be, hopefully, the topic of another video, because I believe the best type of dreams and love and caring for something is when you're sharing it with others. And I've amassed this burden of experience, and I want to use it for something good. We'll see. Anyway, I got a new guitar. Feels good. Hope you had fun watching this video. If you're still watching, thank you so very much. If it's possible, please consider doing the YouTube things, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Stay safe, stay sane, and peace.